Welcome to the Millionaire Next Door podcast with Robert Curtis, CFP, accredited investment fiduciary from Signature Estate and Investment Advisors. In this podcast, we help successful wealth accumulators like you looking to transition to a work-optional lifestyle by helping you build strategies for growing and maintaining your wealth. Robert draws from years of experience and fiduciary responsibility and interviews guest experts to help you build reliable strategies to grow and maintain your wealth. Now, on to the show.
Well, good morning once again. Good afternoon, good day, whatever time you're listening here. Welcome to the Millionaire Next Door podcast. We have Patrice who's helping with coordination. And we have a guest today, a repeat guest. This is Michael Sy. Mike, I know that's a little shortened for your name. You may want to just come and say your whole name because I'm not exactly sure how to say it. But Mike...
Robert. Most people struggle with my last name being Czech. So there's my full last name is actually Sy Thommel, but ever since I've been young, people just go by Sy because it's so much easier for everyone.
That's great, Mike. Yeah. So we have been working together, Mike and I, for probably a year and a half. As you may recall, Mike was a guest on episode 16, November 8th, 2022. He's a coach I've utilized that's helped with a number of processes. So in that conversation, we explained why I'm even using a coach, what that's doing, how that's of value to clients, why I'm always continually refining and optimizing my process. It's a very dialed in process, but we're always looking for ways to make it better and better incrementally. And Mike and I of late have been working quite a bit on an initiative that involves our coordination with strategic partners. These are other professionals, maybe it be a CPA, an estate planning attorney, etc., that are really integrated and baked into our process for the benefit of helping clients. It's really valuable. So we wanted to take a little bit deeper dive into that, explain that to folks, why we're doing that, how that's of value, why that's a core pillar of my process, of my practice, and how that benefits clients. So Mike, thanks so much for coming back on and your help in this process. And it's great to have you here.
Well, I appreciate that, Robert. I appreciate you having me back on your show. It has been, I think, the better part of 18 months that you and I have been working together, and I really enjoyed the journey with you and seeing you evolve over time from where you were at and the fact that you engaged our services to continue to better service the evolving needs of your clients, which I think is so important to recognize that with the clients that you've had the opportunity to partner with, that life happens and needs continue to evolve over time, and staying mindful of those things with your approach is extremely important. And as of late, we've been having some nice conversations just around your whole process and how some of the value added services that you continually provide to your clients are centered around now the ability to continue to create a small network, a small strategic team that can come in and support those needs of your clients above and beyond just the financial aspects alone, but looking at different tax strategy, looking at the needs to look at beneficiaries and how their estate is established, and to be able to lean on other professionals to be able to come in and assist your clients, I think is something that more and more advisors should start continually being mindful of over time. So again, I applaud you in this approach, and we've had some great conversation just around the importance of this, and some just examples of clients that you've worked with or you've engaged with other clients, CPAs and attorneys, to continue to enhance their overall plan in general. I think, Robert, I'd love to hear from you, being the advisor, being a certified financial planner, how you've noticed the needs of your clients and continued conversation to be able to bring in someone like a strategic partner to assist them.
Yeah, for sure, Mike. It is really, really evolved. A lot of folks initially hire me. The area of expertise, core area, is investment management and financial planning, all the pillars. But for many years, I've been doing this 25 years now with second and third generation clients, I've been blessed to have. We've really seen a very deep evolving need for a lot of other services. Sometimes it's even life coaching type things. It's not always just financial planning. But one that does come up just because it happened yesterday, a client, very nice client we were introduced to probably about 6 months ago. She's a retiree. She had a very good large amount of one stock from the place she retired with a very low cost basis. And she doesn't have a lot of income. And she's actually called me and said there's been a cacophony of issues. We've had monumental rains in Southern California and throughout California. I don't know if you heard about this, but
Sure, I have.
as of this morning, we're not in the Sierra Nevadas, but Mammoth Mountain now has over 800 inches of snow at their summit. They're about ready to
Wow.
break an all-time record. But anyway, back to this. She's had a garage door break. She had a braking system with her car. It's a $2,500 cost. A bunch of stuff with her roof, all these costs. And so long story, she needed to raise some cash, but most of her holdings are in a very low cost basis stock. We were able to engage her CPA and discuss with her. She has good assets, but she's in a relatively low income tax bracket, which is below the 15% bracket. And there is a provision within the tax code where those folks can sell their assets with zero capital gains, but it's a fairly nuanced type of thing. I'm aware of it in generalities, but we would definitely want to engage her CPA or tax professional in that process. And I've seen this come up before. So we did. She spoke with them. We worked together. It looks like we can free some funds and and she's a good candidate for that. But I definitely wanted to check with her other professionals. And we've integrated other professionals in this process too. So that was of huge value to her. And I just spend a lot of time developing and nurturing these relationships to find like-minded individuals, teams that'll really take care of clients. And when you can make that introduction or engage them into the process, it's just so liberating for the client. It creates a lot of value and order, and it helps them look to the future with anticipation rather than apprehension. So, on my side of it, to engage other professionals and colleagues, you would want to do that. There's a lot of core competency within our own team, but sometimes you just need an additional professional to validate it, another perspective, and they may offer good ideas. So we're continually searching for ways to do that. And so it's an enormous value and benefit to clients. And a lot of clients utilize us for that. Maybe they empower us fully and they bring us in and they ask us questions. Some still look at us purely investment management, but it's an evolving piece of the practice that is of substantial value. And I really just like helping them and solving issues. And if we can bring in another professional and we've spent the time out to vet them to know there's going to be a good experience, we just find it of immense value and comfort to the client.
I agree completely, Robert. And just what you had mentioned there, vetting them, finding that mutual alignment as to how they can properly assist your clients, knowing that the advice and the expertise that is being provided to your client is valuable. So just with that example that you gave, what you recognized in that situation is, what is the ripple effect of doing this? Being able to consult with another professional to see how it would affect your client from a tax standpoint, to absolutely solidify the move before it was made, was a huge value add to that client. Because in many instances, I think sometimes people just react. A client may call in and say that we need to do something, and some advisors out there may just go ahead and enact it and move forward and not think about that long-term ripple effect of how it may affect the client. Again, that's the importance of overall planning, working with a trusted advisor like yourself that has the ability to consult with other professionals. You're understanding the evolving needs of your clients, and at the same time finding, just like you look for the right fit for what your process provides, you looking for the right fit from a strategic network of professionals that can assist your clients. So I applaud you for that.
No, thanks, Mike. Yeah, I mean, it's just part of the process. When we interact with other professionals, we like to see how they interact too. We like to see that philosophical alignment, or them really giving time, and you learn over time. I'm part of a professional network. We meet every month, and I've been doing this for years. There's all kinds of attorneys, CPAs, other professionals in that. So I get a real chance to view how they interact and how they work, and to just build up the relationships is fantastic. And I'll be honest with you, not everyone I would introduce to my client. It's a really, I want them to have a good experience. I had one myself where I utilized someone. You'd just be surprised at the things that come up in client conversation. So just the other day, I mentioned life coaching. I had someone reach out, and this is a big ask. They confided in me and really bared their soul that their teenage daughter was having a good amount of mental health issues and anxiety, etc. As I understand, probably most teenagers are these days. Did I know a good mental health professional in the area? Turns out I do. That's someone I actually have. And so, something like that, it was so far beyond investments, but obviously that's really critical to them to provide that. And as time goes on, you get more experience. I literally had one with a plumber recently. Somebody literally asked me about a plumber. I mean, you wouldn't think, but there was an introduction to a contractor that did some work, and there was some mistakes that were made in the plumbing, and they needed a plumber to go in and fix it. I found a team that actually did an amazing job, and will probably get all the clients' business in the future. I vetted them out because I knew the owner through a professional network. And what's amazing is their follow-up, their texts, their professionalism, the fact that there was a whole team. Much like us, there's a process. It's not relying on the maverick talent of just one person. There's a whole team, and they're so well coordinated. So it made me look great. It helped the client out tremendously. They were exceptionally reasonable, and even gave the client a really nice discount because of the introduction from me. That was a complete win-win, and to just help the client out is great. So we've really baked this into our process. You and I are working on really dialing it in, because I've just found it a tremendous value for them, and that's been really good.
Yeah, that's great, Robert. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because a lot of times for advisors, when they think or hear strategic partnerships, it is usually and most always centered around CPAs and estate planning attorneys. But when you're doing true planning, it even evolves beyond just that of an estate planning attorney or a CPA. You may have a family that may have special needs that require specific trusts and insurances that are in place, and continuing to expand that network, but still keeping it small at the same time, finding the right fit for you, finding the right fit for your clients. And I like what you said there. You're providing advice beyond just investments. And, when we hear the term advisor, you really are advising people on their life in general, not just necessarily their financial picture or their underlying investments. There's so much more there. And I know, as part of your unique process, you tend to spend a lot of time focusing on what truly matters to your clients. And you talk to them a lot about the family dynamic, if they're still working, the occupation and the careers, and focused on their recreational aspects, what they love to be able to do. And that's centric around your process. So by you continually being mindful of that and seeking out trusted professionals in many different areas, I think it just greatly enhances what you can provide to your clients as you advise them throughout their lifetimes.
Yeah, 100%. I always let clients know, and especially new clients, I'm available to interact with their existing professionals. and
Hmm.
just really as a service to them. And then actually sometimes I find out what other professionals they do have. Maybe some of them are pretty high net worth. They may not have that many other trusted advisors. Others do, but we can also interact with their CPAs, with their attorneys. I'll give you another example. We have a case. There's a husband and wife, very dear clients for many, many years. The husband went through a pretty severe cancer and he passed away late last year. The wife really has no idea on the financial matters. It's just not her bailiwick at all. So there's been a lot of hand holding. There was a lot of work with attorneys. They own properties in different states and yada, yada. I wasn't exactly sure what the attorney was doing. And some things took a while, but I ended up getting that attorney's name and that firm. I gave that person a call. We interacted for 5-10 minutes. I was able to get a very clear picture and found out we were very much on the same page and just understood. And now we're integrated. So now I'm integrated with their other professionals. It's a huge benefit when all their professionals can coordinate or interact. So as we record this, we are right in the middle of tax season. So a lot of times tax questions come up. I can usually get a hold of their CPA during a very busy time. They know to take my call, to interact with them. They know I won't waste their time. A lot of times they just want me to send the 1099 directly to the CPA. I can do that. So when we already have these systems in place, it's tremendous. And just interacting, or sometimes they'll call me with an issue. Did you know the client was going through this? They were experiencing that. Were you aware of that? Sometimes they are, or I am, but other times that other professional looking out, there's just a huge value to the client for that interaction. So that's been ongoing for years, and I've been doing that, but it's really taken to the next level through the process we've been working on. And I think my ability to dial that in and interact with them and really on the client's benefit, for the client's benefit, has been ramped up. And I think that's a huge value to the client. So it's an example how procedurally, as part of our process, we're just trying to always upgrade things, give the clients more value, be even better and sharper and more alert at what we're doing than we've ever been.
Yeah, I 100% agree. You're enhancing the abilities of your clients' other trusted professionals to provide the best advice possible to their clients. And that's huge. If a CPA is working on a client's tax strategy or their tax return and they have questions financially and they know that you're their trusted advisor, that they can call you, you're going to take the call, you're going to assist in making sure that the right decisions are being made for the overall plan. Same goes for any sort of an attorney. If the finances are involved, they know that they can contact you. They know that they can have a conversation which is going to lead to the best possible decision of their clients. And this is where, too, Robert, I find you to be a very unique advisor because of how mindful you are of these types of relationships. And I think it can greatly benefit other CPAs and other attorneys to seek out advisors like yourself that have a well-developed, refined process and understand the importance of a collaborative effort for the direct benefit of a client. So I love hearing that your clients have that trust in you. They're making the introduction to their other trusted financial professionals, and that you can collaborate and create that team effort, which I think brings a lot of peace of mind to clients as well.
Yeah, it really does. I think it brings a lot of peace of mind because there's been that introduction. And then if we're in the middle of busy season, to get that call from someone you already know and you're integrated with, it's a very easy call for either me or that other professional to take to speak about the client. We obviously have a lot in common. We share a client, and hopefully we understand each other's level of professionalism. But if we already know each other and that's been established, I mean, that's absolutely huge, as opposed to someone you've never heard from. there's always a little bit of apprehension. Who is this person? Why are they calling? What's going on here? We spend a lot of time at that, and it is of great value. We're broadcasting it here to let clients know this. If anybody's listening, just to heighten their awareness of this. If there's any other professionals, if they're estate planning attorneys, CPAs, other insurance professionals, maybe a mortgage broker, realtors, other professional folks, this is our process. This is what we do. We'd love to get to know you and see if we could help your clients in any way. And it's not just that we're looking for a bunch of business out of this. We're looking to better serve our clients, your clients, and hopefully there's a relationship and some synergies there. And we think when like-minded, high-level professionals get together with the same focus of helping the client and understanding their issues and all that's going on with them, we just think a really good outcome will result. And that's ultimately what we're after.
Yeah. And I think that's just it, Robert. I think that goes through the minds of many other professionals out there, that if they can create a value-added service team to assist the needs of their clients, it's just that much more valuable, not just for that person, but for their clientele as well. It's no different than when I go to my doctor and I sit down and I may have something that's ailing me or it's bothering me. And almost immediately it's, well, Mike, dependent upon that, I have a network of trusted doctors that can assist you with that specific need. So I always look to my general practitioner as being my guide, my true advisor with things that are happening, but I know that I can go to him and he's going to point me in the right direction because I've done that before and it's worked out well. I find that relationship extremely valuable. And I think other professionals out there are mindful of it. It's how do you properly establish the right type of relationship with other trusted professionals to where you're all acting as an extension of each other's practices or professions, to where you can properly collaborate. Easier said than done, but I have seen it when done properly, it automatically adds extreme value to the clients in which you are serving. So again, I say that to other professionals out there, that you should be mindful in doing that, because it does add value to what you do and to how your clients perceive your overall value. And this is something that you and I have been talking about for quite some time, and you've been diligent in trying to refine that as part of your process. So again, because you bring a unique skill set and you have a defined process and you have an ideal type client that you work with, it makes it that much easier to establish the right type of relationship with another trusted professional out there, because we're going to be able to find some sort of mutual alignment there.
Yeah, 100%. And that's sort of really where it's an extension of one practice and the other. That is the highest level. That is fantastic. And I have that in a few cases. That's not always the case, but it's just something we work on. It's been a great process. I'm always open to listening to clients' concerns or what issues they're working with. Do they have somebody that they really rave about or love? Be it a chiropractor or a dentist. I don't hear that too often, but there's issues. You would not believe how people bare their soul with issues that are ongoing. A mechanic, whatever it is, or a higher level professional, legal issues. I'm involved. I manage the assets of a nonprofit that ran into a very interesting legal issue recently. Their initial trust was written 50 years ago, and it terminates actually this month. And that had been through a few attorneys, but to find the right one who really understood this area of nonprofit law took a lot of digging. So, having these networks in place, it's really a value. Just happy to share. Thanks for your help in, sort of dialing that in and unpacking it and getting better at it all the time. And, we're always listening. I mean, I think of the relationship with my doctor. It is just shocking what they know and the resources and the nuances they pick up on. And, it's not all just numbers and blood pressure and tests. There's other factors in life, and medicine is evolving all the time. And what they told you or some of the advice might be different than it was a couple of years ago based on things that are learned. So we're always trying to be right at the cutting edge. But then again, we've seen a lot in 25 years and working with second and third generation clients. So having this network is a true value to clients, and we're just trying to dial it in again. So it's really there when needed, and we can bring that to the table. And sort of that 1 + 1 = 3 factor. Sometimes it's even greater value. Maybe it's logarithmic. Yeah. So at any rate, sure. Appreciate you. Yeah. What else? I'm happy to hear if you have any other comments or questions.
No, I mean, I just had to say, yeah. Robert, I mean, with all your years of experience, you continue to learn. You yourself continue to evolve in your practice and your approach that you take with clients. And just like you said, you're always listening. And by always listening, it allows you to continually ask better questions, which in turn leads to better decisions for your clients ultimately. And with your network that you're creating and will continue to create, it gives you more of a consultative approach, where even sometimes you're probably consulting behind the scenes to examine the situation of your clients, to allow you to provide better advice that ultimately will be the best decision for your clients. So again, I think it's important for your clients to understand that. And I'm glad that you're not keeping that a secret, because it truly is a service that you provide to your clients. And it brings that peace of mind, knowing that if your clients don't have necessarily a trusted tax advisor or a trusted attorney, that they can lean on you to point you in the right direction. And that's why it's so important with your process that you are vetting these individuals to make sure that they align well with you, philosophically in your approach, and are going to guide your clients and give the best advice possible.
Yeah, that's so well said. And that's what we do. I mean, most of the clients are really busy professionals, or they're raising a family, or a lot of them are retirees, and they're not really interacting with all that many people to know who these folks are, yet issues come up, especially with business owners who are deeply immersed in running their business and don't have a lot of outside time to deal with these other issues. So it's been a great value add. I appreciate your help in dialing in the process. I'm going to keep going down that rabbit hole further and just learning more and applying it. And that's what I think makes it fun after all these years. A lot of distance to go, but just getting better at it, honing in the process, and really just communicating and helping people through issues. That's really the satisfaction.
Yeah.
Thank you great. So much. Yeah. For everything.
Absolutely, Robert. Thank you. I always appreciate the opportunity, and I love talking to someone that's always looking to better themselves and to continue to deliver a high level experience to their clients. So I just wanted to thank you for having me on, and look forward to our continued engagement together.
100%, Mike. I really appreciate it too. It's helped me when I look back a year and a half, 18 months. It is mind blowing to me how much I've grown, how the process has gotten dialed in. I don't know that it's immediately apparent to every client, but it is to me. And the thought of continuing down in a year from now to be even further is really, really exciting. So I think we're at a pretty high level, but that it can always get a little bit better. And, I would expect the same of my other professionals, that they're not just resting on their prior experience. They're really, really pushing the limits of evolving their process. And so to have a partner to do this with, and someone who's looking at really practices across the nation that are at the highest level, and getting those tips, it's been great. It's been a privilege. So thanks again.
Great. Well, thank you, Robert. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you for listening to the Millionaire Next Door podcast. Click the subscribe button below to be notified when new episodes become available. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Signature Estate and Investment Advisors or Royal Alliance Associates Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing advice. Always seek the advice of your financial advisor or other qualified financial service provider with any questions you may have regarding your investment planning.